Hey guys, it's EDDBUD, and I'm back today with my 100-mile review of the Brooks Hyperion Tempo. So I've reached 100 miles on this light Brooks Tempo Speedster. I did note some slightly lower scores that I gave this shoe on my initial review, but over the miles my experiences have changed somewhat in this shoe, so keep watching for my new scores. Engage warp engines, Lieutenant Beast, make it so. Just a disclaimer, I did purchase this shoe with my own Earth credits. It's not been sent to me for review or anything like that. These are my own honest opinions. So, those of you who watched my initial review of the Brooks Hyperion Tempo would have noticed that I really enjoyed the upper, and nothing's changed over the 100 miles. Still one of the best uppers that I have tried out over the course of the last 12 months. There, I said it. Soft, light, super breathable. Oh yeah. Just right for me in terms of toe box height and width. Really is a wonder on foot, this one. It does feel fantastic. As somebody that's normally at the tail end of a UK size 11 or size 12, this one's just right in terms of the upper for me. Lockdown on this shoe is really aided by the excellent heel cut. There's just enough of a heel counter there, and all the materials used are just so comfortable. Nice and soft. There's a plush feel to the shoe, but it's very light. There's a perfect height to the heel here. It doesn't interfere with your ankle too much or your Achilles. And over the top of the foot, those precious bones are protected. Tongue's nice and light with just a little bit of padding through the middle section. The laces I find are truly triumphant. They provide some real consistent tension across the top of the shoe. A really brilliant shoe for lockdown. When I have been running in some shoes recently that are truly atrocious for lockdown. I mean, seriously, Nike, the lockdown's just useless in this. I'm not the only one that thinks that either. It's not just my opinion, there's loads of runners out there. Certainly local people that I've spoken to that really are impressed with the Peg 37 lockdown. Anyway, let's get back to business at hand. I found this shoe true to size, UK size 11 / US size 12. Weighing it after my 8-mile run today, it's taken on a few grams of extra weight, probably from the hard-earned graft that I put into it. Comes in about 247 grams, that's about 8.7 ounces. I shan't be changing my score on this one. For the upper on the Hyperion Tempo, I'm giving it 3 out of 3. Top-notch stuff, Brooks. On to midsole now. Initially, you'll remember that I found the midsole on the Hyperion Tempo a little firm, uninspiring perhaps, a little bit of a letdown. But at 100 miles, I really love it. The midsole seemed to loosen up for me a little bit. It's become a little bit more malleable, a little bit more forgiving. Although I'm sure the midsole of this shoe is affected a little bit by temperature. In these warmer temperatures that we've had over here in the UK, and by warmer I mean for us. For you guys in Australia perhaps, you'll just laugh at us. It's just not warm at all to you, but for us it is a little warmer right now, and I think the midsole on the Hyperion Tempo does benefit from that. After a couple of runs I found that the shoe transformed almost. After today's run at 8 miles, I think there was an average of 7 minutes 12 seconds per mile. For you guys that like the kilometres, that's 12.87 kilometres at 4 minutes 27 per kilometre. Clocked in at 57 minutes 45 and I was flying, despite having spent almost all day doing some online Zoom meetings, and I ate half a Domino's pizza about an hour and a half before. That's the pinnacle of nutrition, guys. The midsole and me are an item. I find it really easy to pick up the cadence and the pace in the Hyperion Tempo. It's been one of those shoes that every time I'm going to wear it, a little smile appears on my face. You've all had that shoe, right? You know, that one you just think, I'm going to go running in this shoe in a minute. It's going to be good. It's going to be fun. I'm going to get that great feeling through my body. Those endorphins are going to pump through and it's going to happen. Good to hit a few miles today at my half marathon target pace. The midsole just soaked up those miles. In fact, my legs feel great now, like I could go out and run again. In fact, I might do that, or I could eat the rest of that pizza. I think the 8mm drop combined with the DNA Flash midsole material here is a real winning combo for me, and it leaves me wanting for that Hyperion Elite 2 that's going to appear hopefully later on this year. I wasn't really too bothered about that shoe, but now thinking of a increased midsole with the same foam and an even lighter upper, oh yeah. So at the 100 miles for me, the midsoles felt better than it has done at any other point. So apart from the slightly slow kind of break-in period for me, I'm going to raise the score up to a 2.8 out of 3 for midsole. Outsole now. A real wonder. Asics, you better watch out. I can't see any wear on this thing at all. I looked really hard. There's just a little tiny bit of aesthetic wear in the midfoot here, and perhaps a tiny little bit on the rear of the heel. That's it. And we're talking aesthetic wear, it's just the very outer part of the outsole has worn away. Just slightly. So, great durability. I don't think that's really a worry here at all in this shoe. Think of something else to say about the outsole now. I find the grip and traction pretty good on almost every surface that I've tried it on. We've been over grass, pavement, some gravel, some dirt. Feels great on roads where I've been able to hammer it round the trading estate a couple of times. Although earlier on I did get attacked by some seagulls. I think they've got some babies positioned somewhere and they're kind of walking around, and as I came flying around the corner they ran out in front of me and I got dive bombed by a whole group of seagulls, which actually benefited my pace because I had to really hammer it then to get out of the trading estate. So thanks seagulls. Feels really great to me at pace and really good push off. It really bites into the surface. But at some slower paces that I've run in that beautiful weather we had yesterday, rain, wind, oh, it was fantastic out there. I felt like Thor, only it would take about 2.5 times me to be Thor width. Not sure what rubber's on here really. There's very little information about it at all, even on the Brooks website. Whatever it is though, I can see it lasting many, many a mile. Asics high abrasion rubber. You got some competition here. I'm going to pull the score up a little bit from my initial review for Outsole. I'm going to give this 2.8 out of 3. Certainly better than the 37, which is already starting to wear away in the midfoot there after 60 miles. So yeah, we've got to talk value next. So I think if this shoe had scored lower in terms of the upper, the midsole and the outsole, we'd have to continue with that quite low value score. But the midsole's really taken on a new kind of feel, and the outsole's quite frankly superb. Durability and traction there really are no problem. Great, soft and supportive upper, but at £140, it's a little bit more than you'd probably want to spend for a daily shoe. Yes, there are other shoes out there with more bells and whistles than this one, such as that incoming endorphin speed perhaps from Saucony, but I think there are very few shoes with the wonderful simplicity that the Brooks Hyperion Tempo does offer. And it's super light as well, even in my UK size 11. You know, 247 grams is a really good weight for a shoe like this. Lighter than the Peg Turbo 2, lighter than the SL20, the Run Fast 2 as well. I mean, it's a great shoe this. Yes, that Run Fast 2 is considerably cheaper at retail. You can often pick the Run Fast 2 up for anything as low as about £60, but I'm really loving the quality here. Everything through the upper, midsole and outsole, just really fantastic. Thus, I am going to raise up that value score that I'd originally given. I was pretty harsh actually when I look back on my review. I gave it a 1.5 out of 3. I'm going to give this a value score after 100 miles of 2.5 out of 3. It really has won me over. There's very little for me to dislike here after 100 miles in the Brooks Hyperion Tempo. Certainly a thumbs up recommendation from me. Please do try this shoe out. A sadly overlooked piece of footwear. So if I've totted up the scores correctly, that gives us 11.1 out of 12 for the Brooks Hyperion Tempo after 100 miles. Bonus smell test. Here we go, guys. Not too good on the smell test, hang on. I'm going to give it a 3.5 out of 10 on the smell test. It's pretty whiffy. Mind you, I did just run 8 miles at considerable pace in this shoe, so it's not going to smell great, is it? Let me know what you think of the Brooks Hyperion Tempo. Is it a shoe you've got? Is it a shoe you've worn? Did you enjoy it? Did you not? Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments. A musical interlude. On those longer tempo runs, I've really enjoyed listening to Tame Impala. You can check any of their albums out, they're all equally as good. But one that seems to really resonate with me more than any other is Currents. Don't think there's a bad track on this album. It's a strange mixture of dance, psychedelic elements, there's some traditional rock style elements in there and some pop. A really interesting mixture, like a big steaming cauldron of goulash. Really allows you to just sort of lock into a certain tempo and just keep on rolling. I think I'll probably utilise that on my 15-mile long run tomorrow. Okay, that's about all for today, guys. Hope you've enjoyed the review. Thanks for sticking with us till the very end. If you haven't done so already, it would mean a lot to EDDBUD and Beast if you'd hit that subscribe button and click that bell for notifications of when we launch those new videos. It really does help the channel out too if you give this video a thumbs up like and if you share it with your running buddies. My name's EDDBUD and I'll be seeing you.